Hello and welcome to episode 3 from Sauced, Arizona. Let's get cooking. Let's prepare our water for our pasta shells. Boil a large pot of water and add a pinch or two of salt to the water. While we're waiting for the water to boil, let's prep for our sauce. First, we are going to mince 3 cloves of garlic. Then we are going to dice 1/2 of a yellow onion. Now we are going to add 1 to 2 tablespoons of olive oil to a large pot. Then, with the temperature set to a medium-low heat, add your diced onion to the pot. Now let's add a pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper to the pot. Next, we are going to add 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Once the onions start to become translucent, we're going to add the garlic. We wait to add the garlic last because it'll start to burn if you add it too soon. Now let's add our can of crushed tomatoes. Add 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 cup of red wine. Cover the pot and simmer on low while we prepare our dressing for our salad. First, we're going to dice the 1 clove of garlic. Add a pinch of salt to the diced garlic, then start to press the garlic down using a large kitchen knife. Continue pressing the garlic until it turns into a paste. Then add 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, one tablespoon of red wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, and 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. Next, add the pressed garlic and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Kosher works best for this dressing. Then add 1/4 teaspoon of ground pepper. Add 3/4 cup of olive oil to a measuring cup. Then pour about 1/2 of the olive oil into the dressing jar. And give it a good shake. Now let's add the remaining olive oil into the jar. And shake once more until it's all well combined. Best dressing ever! Now it's time to add our pasta shells to the boiling water. Follow the instructions on the box and make sure to cook these shells al dente. Now, while these are cooking, let's move on to prepare the stuffing for our shell. First, let's start by chopping about 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley. Add 1 15-ounce package of ricotta cheese, followed by an 8-ounce package of mozzarella cheese. Then you want to add about a half a cup of grated Parmesan. Add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And don't forget the fresh parsley. Add salt and pepper to taste. Then add 1/8 cup of breadcrumbs. Mix until well combined. While mixing, add 1 large egg. By now, our pasta shells should be ready to go. Now it's time to start stuffing those shells. Spray a baking dish with non-stick cooking spray. And drain the shells. Now it's time to spoon in some of the marinara sauce to a baking dish. This helps prevent the shells from sticking to the baking dish. Let's start stuffing our shells. After we have prepared all of the shells and placed them in the baking dish, take the remaining amount of marinara sauce and cover the shells. Then top with the Parmesan cheese. Let's preheat the oven to 375 degrees. And that's preheating. Let's prep for our bruschetta. Take about 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil and place in a bowl. Next, add about 2 dashes of dry Italian seasoning. Brush over the French bread. Then set the bread aside for now. Now let's dice up our 3 cloves of garlic. And roughly chop our 1/4 cup of fresh basil leaves. Then dice a half of a yellow onion. Now let's dice up our 7 Roma tomatoes. Now that the oven is preheated to 375 degrees, place the French bread and the shells into the oven. The shells will need to stay in for about 30 minutes and the French bread for about 7. Now let's take all of our chopped ingredients and place into a large bowl. Now add 1/3 of a cup of balsamic vinegar, 1/4 of a cup of red wine vinegar, and 1/4 of a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Add salt and pepper to taste, and then stir until well combined. Don't forget to check on your French bread. Now it's time to prepare our bruschetta. Take your favorite type of pesto and smear on to the French bread. Add heaping spoonfuls of the bruschetta onto each slice of French bread. And sprinkle with some Parmesan cheese. And there you have it, some amazing bruschetta. Now let's prepare our salad. Roughly chop some romaine lettuce and place in a bowl. Top with Parmesan cheese, the balsamic vinaigrette dressing, and your favorite croutons. After 30 minutes, your shells will be done. And there you have it, a 3-course Italian dinner. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please stay tuned for many more videos to come.